Daniel here for Tabletop for One, and to talk to you about the new year, new games, and more. And I thank you for joining me tonight, and once again, Happy New Year. I know it's halfway through the month, but I just want to wish you a Happy New Year. We have a lot to look forward to in this new year. The board gaming hobby continues to grow. There's a lot of new games coming out. I received a lot of new games already so far this year and looking forward to playing them. And I'm curious about the ones that you've also received, so let me know in the comments. But I want to talk to you tonight about 5 new games that I got, as well as 5 new things going on with the channel here. Now, don't mind this miniature here. We'll talk about this miniature later when we get to one of the games, but doesn't he look fantastic? But we'll get to that in a little bit. So for the first game, what we're going to talk about is my only review copy that's on this list, and that is World Wonders. Now, World Wonders is this new game by Arcane Wonders, and it's this great tile laying game where you're building out this city, and you have like a river or a lake in the land, and you're trying to build around it, building roads, building buildings, all sorts of things to build these world wonders. So you have all these different kinds of world wonders that have been built across the world, and so you get to settle them into your little building area. And so I've only played this multiplayer, actually. I played this with my game group and had a great time. We played 3-player and we all ended, our scores were within 2 points. It was a really close game. Now I've looked at the solo mode, and the solo mode looks really good. And it has an automa for it and it looks easy to run. And so I plan on providing a tutorial solo playthrough for it because I'm really enjoying this game and look forward to showing it to you. And so one of the new things I want to talk about for this channel is that I am going to be doing a podcast. So I'm going to do an audio only podcast, which you will be able to, listen to on the go or that sort of thing. And in the podcast, I'm going to talk about Kickstarter stuff, new games. I'm also going to talk about the crossover of mental health and board games. And then on top of that, I am going to do something that is called Find the Name of the Game. And so I'm going to give you a sample of that right now. So I want you to put your listening ears on. All right. Now, if you have a hard time hearing me or understanding my words because of how I speak, then by all means check the comments. I will have this story. This is a story I made up, and in it includes at least 16 names of games. And so the goal is to find as many of those names as possible, and then you'll write them in a comment, and I will score you based on how well you do. And so here's the story. It's total fiction, I promise, but here it goes. I remember a friend from my youth, Ian, who had a cat, an evil one at that, which would run up and claw me every time it saw me. Ian needed a date for the prom, and so he asked Kathy, the one and final girl who had no date. Instead of going to the prom, he took her to the fields of green by the school and danced with her in the moonlight. It was as if they were among the stars that shone above them like a canopy of lanterns. The school security spotted the dancing couple and ran towards them. Ian grabbed Kathy's hand and said, "They're after us, come with me." The couple ran down the street block by block until they reached a white castle. He ordered them some chicken sliders and just one shake. As they shared the shake, Ian leaned in for a kiss, but as if it was a nightmare, Kathy drooled on his face. "Sorry," she said as she put some distilled water on a napkin and wiped the spit away. All right, so there you go. There are at least 16 names of games in that entire story. Again, I will have that story printed in a comment below. So if you want to try and figure out all the names of the games, by all means do. And like I said, I will score you. So this is one of those things I want to do in the podcast. I'm going to come up with these little games for everyone to participate in. Now, the podcast is going to be a monthly thing, and maybe it'll go, faster, maybe bi-weekly or weekly, just depending on how it goes. But I really look forward to doing it. And if you haven't seen my previous announcement, I also partake in the Talking Tabletop podcast that is on Mistarau Gaming. And so I join in bi-weekly, giving a kind of a 5 to 10 minute little clip and talking about whatever I want to talk about. And so on Mistarau Gaming, if you want to check that out, I have a link in my description to his YouTube channel. He does the bi-weekly podcast and has all sorts of guests on there. And so lots of people talking about different things in the board gaming hobby. It's great. All right, so the next game I want to talk about is Batman. Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. Now, I actually won this game. I won this in a raffle, and I think I spent, I don't know, maybe $10 on it or something like that. This is a deluxe edition. It's obviously used. It looks great, and I've read some really good things about it. It looks like a lot of fun. It's a game of attrition, and so I don't have too many games like that in my collection, so I really look forward to that. Generally, my war games tend to be on the attrition side, but Batman as a game of attrition, that sounds really interesting. So I can't wait to table this. I've actually had this for a little while. I've just never brought it out, and I really need to get it to the table and try it out. The miniatures look fantastic. I love the look of the board, all that stuff. Now, if you played this game, let me know in the comments below what you think of it, because I definitely want to know what you think. And let me know, which scenario I should play, or if I should just do all four for scenarios. I think there's 4 that you can run together. And so I'd like to know about that. Now, the next thing for the channel I want to talk about is the new focus. See, I have been doing tutorial and solo playthroughs as my primary focus, and that is not going to change. However, I've been kind of under the pressure to do these tutorials for the review copies that get sent in. And so it kind of like pushes back a lot of games I want to play, a lot of games I want to teach you, in favor of doing the review copies because they're new and that sort of thing, and because, it's just my own personal pressures that I put on myself. And so I'm going to switch that on its head, and I am only going to do my first impressions reviews on those games, and then I will do the tutorials if it's something I want to do, or I will do the tutorials if the publisher pays me to do them. See, I'm going to start selling that service as an option, to get a tutorial solo playthrough video on my channel. I think I'm at that point where I can offer that as a service, and I think that's what I want to do. And what that does is it's going to free me up to do tutorials. Again, this was artificial pressure I put on myself, but it's going to free me up to do tutorials on other games that I want to do, games that I think that you might enjoy and that sort of thing. On top of that, I am going to give my Patreons, the ones who are at certain levels of the Patreon, the ability once a month to vote on a tutorial for me to make. And it could be a tutorial of a game I have, or it could be a game I don't have, and I would seek out that game and make a tutorial for it. So I will be giving that option to my patrons. Now, I don't normally promote my patron account, but if you would like to help support the channel, there's a link in my description, and I really greatly appreciate everybody who's supported me thus far. All right, so the next game I want to talk about is a game that many people may not know is a solo game, and that is Akropolis. This is another tile laying game. We got 2 tile laying games here. And so Akropolis is this neat little tile laying game that has 3 hex tiles, put together. And so you got all these different tiles, and you're trying to build them up, kind of almost 3D on, level after level, and connect different districts together and score different points. Now, there is no solo mode in the box. It says 2 to 4 players on top of that box there. And in fact, they actually released an official solo variant for it. And so this game has, I think it's 3 different AIs that you can play, and basically they're going to draft tiles that you don't choose, and those tiles will score them certain points at the end of the game. They don't have to build out their city, it just depends on what tiles they get. So it has this good, deciding, do I draft that tile for myself, or do I draft it to prevent them from getting it? And so I really look forward to showing that to you. This is a game I picked up for dirt cheap, I think on an Amazon sale or something like that. I forget where I got it actually, but I got it dirt cheap. I just remember that. And so I really look forward to showing you this game and showing you that official solo variant. All right, the next thing I want to talk about in the channel here is I have a game in the works. I have a new game I am designing. Now, I've actually worked on probably 10 different designs for myself. They're all prototypes, and I haven't published anything yet. But this new game I'm designing, I really like, and I can't wait to show it to you. So I am considering something. I'm considering showing it to you on the channel. I don't know if that'll be like live plays, just kind of show you what I'm doing and how I'm designing it, how I'm balancing it, or something like that. Or, maybe I'll show you in shorts, just give you an idea of the different ways the game works. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. So I'm open to ideas. If you have ideas, you can let me know. But I definitely want to share that with you because this game I'm designing is a solo only game. It is a deck builder with crisis management, and I can't wait to share it with you because when I design games like this, I don't think about it being just for me. I think about it being for you, all you solo gamers out there. It's something I want to share with you, just like I like sharing the excitement of all these games that we get. I want to share the excitement of making a game that you might enjoy. And so I don't know how it's going to work out on the channel here, but I'm open to ideas, like I said. So if you have any ideas of maybe how I could do that, but maybe, like I said, maybe I'll just do live and then we can have live chat and we can talk back and forth as I, play test the game or something like that. All right, the fourth game I want to talk about is one I got recently. I was telling myself no more campaign games, but I had a gift certificate or a gift credit card, and I saw this great deal on this game, and I read the reviews. I read all the bad reviews, all the good reviews, all the mixed reviews, everything about it. And so it's a game that goes along with this miniature. This miniature looks so fantastic, and that is Bardsung. As if I needed another big game. There we go. We got Bardsung. And this game is huge. It's like this big old box. But yeah, this game looks great. It looks like, a very fun adventure, almost kind of a D&D, the board game kind of game where you're rolling D20s and you have monsters spawning, you're exploring different rooms. It looks like it's a really interesting way of spawning those rooms and having that exploration element. And so I really look forward to it. It looks great. I've read the bad stuff. I've read how it gets repetitive or sometimes too easy towards the end of the game. I have no problem with that. And in fact, after I played solo a little bit, I think I'm going to just play it with my kids. I'm going to try and get my kids into it and play a whole campaign with them because it plays up to 5 players. And so most of my kids would be old enough to play this game. So I think I'm going to use it for that. I know that's not solo, but you know what? Sometimes being able to use these games with the kids is a great thing for me. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about for the channel is a new perspective for the channel. Actually, this is not a new perspective. It's a renewed perspective. Now, if you've seen some of my videos before, I have talked about mental health, my mental health personally, because I deal with severe anxiety and depression on a daily basis, and it's debilitating, it's lonely, and isolating, and all those things. And I know because you have talked to me. There are many of you out there who suffer with these same things, and I want you to know you're not alone, and I want to keep that conversation going because I think board games is so beneficial to mental health, like art is beneficial to mental health, and music is beneficial to mental health. I think board games provide this great opportunity to occupy your mind away from darker thoughts, and even like with some of the crisis management games, giving you the ability to triumph over crisis and have successes in your life, even if it's in a game form, but it gives you a success in your life and makes you feel like you can do things that you didn't think you could do because of how debilitating that mental health is. And mental health, it's too much of a stigma in our society. You can't talk about it. And most people who don't go through it don't know how to handle it when somebody else that they know goes through it. And like I said, it makes you feel isolated, makes you feel lonely and misunderstood. And I don't want you to feel that way with me. I want to keep that conversation going. I think it's an important conversation. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that exactly, but I want to keep that conversation going. I want to keep talking about the benefits of board games and mental health. All right, so we're going on to the 5th and final game. And so we have 2 tile laying games and 2 miniatures games. So what's the last one gonna be? I mean, this is like kind of like a yin and yang for me, right? This is like calm, zen Daniel, and this is like chaotic, adventurous Daniel or whatever, something like that. So what's the last game gonna be? Well, we'll just call this the Enigma Daniel. And so I have box 1. Now, I'm way late to the party on this one. This is that solo only game that you see at Walmart and other places like that, where it's designed by Neil Patrick Harris, and a lot of people said a lot of really good things about it. I never picked it up. I don't know why. I just never picked it up. and then I got it for Christmas. And so I've been really looking forward to this because I've been really getting into these puzzle and escape room games. I really enjoy them. They are great. I know they are kind of like a one and done, you know, you spend a couple hours on them and then they're done. But I don't know, I feel so satisfied going through that, couple hours, that I get so much more satisfaction out of that than some other games that I might play for an hour and a half or 2 hours. So yeah, these are great, and I look forward to playing this one. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it myself, reset it, and then let each of my kids one at a time play it. And so yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. You'll have to let me know what you think of box one, but yeah, it looks to be a great game. All right, the final thing I want to talk to you about the channel, the new thing for the channel, is the new potential. And it's not for me, it's for you, it's for all of us. We need to see our own potential as individuals in order for us to move forward in life. And if we cannot see that potential, we give up, call it quits, and we fall down. When we can see our potential to stand after we fall, to smile after we cry, to live after wanting to die, then we can potentially do anything we want. So let us help each other to stand, to smile, and to live this one great life we have. And so there you have it, my friends. We talked about some games and some new perspectives and some new ideas that I'm going to implement on my channel. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video. Please also like and subscribe to this channel if you like the content you see here. And I thank you very much for watching Tabletop for One. Have a great night.